Hello, everyone. It's Shamila Ramjawan, a South African coming to you from Cambodia. Today, my guest on the show is Shhreyaa Shetti, who is living in Pune, India. Shhreyaa is a leading name in the consulting world, a global human capital developer who is a youth and women empowerment coach, powerhouse motivator, and keynote speaker. As an elite woman, she empowers the youth, men, women, individuals, and professionals from all walks of life to excel in life, bringing lasting transformation in them through skilling, hiring, training, coaching, mentoring, and various empowerment programs and initiatives. Her vision and mission is to empower the nation by empowering them in the country, making them financially independent. Hello, Shhreyaa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Namaste and very good evening to everyone. And first of all, I take this opportunity to thank Shamila for the wonderful and gracious invite to have me over the Red Corner show. So thank you so much. And thank you for the elaborate introduction.
It's wonderful having you here. You know, we've been putting off this chat for ages now, back and forth with changing times and trying to slot in with our busy work schedules. But here we are. We're going to have an awesome chat. Before we go ahead, please tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Who is Shhreyaa? Talking about your African background, hailing from Kenya.
All right. To begin with, of course, how Shreya started her journey. So I'll just give a little story about, my native roots being in Kenya, Africa. Thanks to my parents who decided to travel the globe. And for a couple of years, they were settled in Africa before, of course, my birth. And that's how, I mean, it was purely due to my parents' background, and especially my dad being into rubber technology. So he was pretty much intrigued with the opportunities that Africa as a continent had to offer. And that's how, my birthing purpose also, I think, got connected with Kenya. But from Kenya to India, I think it's been a journey of 3 decades now. I was born in Kenya and brought up in India. So technically, I think I share roots, in both the places. I belong to southern part of India, being a South Indian. So now it's more of a global citizen that I seem to have, speaking about more than 6 languages. And of course, I love this dynamic blend of cultures and the learning which happens every time I meet from people from different corners of the world.
Wonderful. Shreya, such a powerhouse, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. Speaking all those languages, wow, how amazing, isn't it just wonderful to learn new languages? But you also have to be quite receptive, and learning a language is not easy, trust me, because I'm busy learning Khmer at the moment and it's just not easy.
Yes, absolutely. I think that it is the formative years, and luckily, being brought up in a cosmopolitan kind of family. Well, my dad left, his native place, which was a very small town, which still doesn't have, platform for education, for college and higher education. So I think it was his urge and drive that took him to various corners. Of course, one has to take that risk and lead themselves into unknown territories. And that's how I think I inherited those genes of trading into unknown waters, coming from a corporate background and then getting into, self-employment mode and, getting into social entrepreneurship. So yes, of course, I have a lot of, thanks to give to my genes. I think that's where it all comes from.
Absolutely. We always go back to our roots. But Shreya, just calling yourself a global human capital developer, what does that mean?
Well, Shamla, I have always believed that there's a lot of human potential, irrespective of the industry sector that you work with, irrespective of the degrees, qualification that one has to talk about. And I have strongly believed, coming from my humble background where, I was privileged enough to get exposure to technical education, getting into a bachelor's of engineering, probably coming from a background where, I had a family of well-learned people. But at the end of the day, I think each one of us, every human being is gifted with some unique talents and potential. And keeping aside all the degrees, qualification, I think what really touches and connects the human, with another human is his potential to empower. It's not about everything being perfect, but the way you inspire others. I think I have seen literally, being a shy introvert child to being this, motivational powerhouse speaker, whatever you call it. So this transformational journey did not happen overnight. There were a lot of pains and there were a lot of trials and tribulations, and a lot of throwing up and people misunderstanding you. So at the end of the day, it's all about how comfortable you are handling those imperfections, despite knowing that you might not be the best. And I have always grew up around people, where I was clear that, okay, uh, for me, it was more important about realizing and self discovering those talents within me and with the people around them. So I think nurturing the human talent and luckily getting the platform of human resource as a fraternity to work with closely in the last 2 decades, that gave me a lot of scope to work with the corporates as well as with individuals, where I could nurture this human potential through various initiatives, be it the talent acquisition part or the talent management part, where I could provide career guidance and for people transitioning into the careers, or guiding them through getting into various other streams. So that was something which really intrigued me. And it really fascinates me to work closely, developing the potential and getting the best version out of every human.
Getting the best version out of every human being. That is act. So, Shreya, COVID has come and destroyed a lot of lives, and put us in different spheres, in terms of technology and using other resources to connect with the world. What has it taught you, and what did you do differently?
Well, that is $1 million question, Shamila. I think we all have been dealing, and a lot of us are still dealing with the post effects of pandemic. Of course, it was something which was not predicted by anyone, because I think changes like this nobody wants to happily welcome. But I think for me individually and personally, if I had to talk, how COVID impacted, of course, like most of us, it took a while to sink in, with the lockdown and things coming completely, coming to a stagnancy, and then we getting adapted. So, like I told you, earlier, it is all about the potential that you realize. You never know that how much strength you have within you unless you face those challenges. And I think COVID period was one such time. I used to always, find that, okay, my trainings and coachings have to be those live classroom trainings and one to one. But I think COVID taught me that online and virtual also you can generate that kind of bond. So that was the biggest learning for me. And to come virtually, and face my own demons, that is something which I have overcome successfully. That's what COVID has taught me. And now I completely trust and believe in the technology. And I mean, look at this. You're sitting in Cambodia, and we are just talking as if we are having this chat in person. Isn't that great? I mean, all thanks to the technology and advent, right?
How amazing. Yes. We just rely on technology every single day of our lives.
Absolutely.
Empowerment coach. How do you attract your audience?
Sorry, I lost you there.
As an empowerment coach, how do you attract your audience?
Well, to be honest, Sharmila, let me tell you this. It was not a deliberate attempt of getting into coaching industry or calling myself a life coach or an empowerment coach. So there's a little story about, from me being Shhreyaa Shetti to getting transformed into this elite woman who calls herself Blossom Awesome. And there's a reason why she thinks that, elite women deserve to be called Blossom Awesome, because I think there is nothing called as perfect in this world. And more so when it comes to women, I think they are brought up in, though coming from a very, open minded background or a family upbringing, we all find that, society tries to stereotype most of the time, whether she's single, married, she should be dressing up in a certain way, or, oh, why she's so bold, or why she has so much of opinion about everyone. And I think I grew up with typical Indian family and systems and values. And of course, with, education, I could get that exposure, but I always saw this, that women are stereotyped. And for a woman, if you are having opinion, you're always being asked, oh, for a woman she's too much. At times you get to hear this. And that was something where I felt that, okay, I need to express myself. For a couple of years, I think in my initial teens, I usually used to find it very difficult to express myself, be myself the way I wanted to dress up, or even put on that red lipstick. So I was very happy to, when I heard about your show, and, it is named Red Corner Show. So suddenly there was something which connected. And of course, the beautiful smile that you carry with those red, bold lips. So that all speaks about, why we really need to embrace ourselves. So that was something, which empowered me when I started being myself, when I challenged the status quo. And I saw that that journey wasn't easy. And when I used to just connect with, be it my coworkers or even back with my friends, I used to find there was a lot of inhibition, though they were happy in their lives, but somewhere they said, oh, I thought, somewhere I wish I could be like you, expressing most of the times what I really felt within. And that was something, I think, over the years, people saw me as a coach. They could pour in, take advice, or, speak their minds out. And over the years, it just happened that, with my background into corporates, and string of MNCs that I worked with, we with a team globally spread across, I came to be known as an empowerment coach. And it was a journey, of course, which took almost 16 plus years. And I think that is how empowerment happens, when you feel you have the freedom, and when people look at that freedom and get inspired. So that is something, there's nothing to consciously attract. It's all about being yourself and being the best version, because nobody is perfect, and you need to really work on that version every single day.
Yes, I so agree with you on that, Shreya. Just tell me a little bit about, you've been through a lot in your life, all the stages in growing and developing yourself before you actually embarked on the journey of empowering others. But what were the obstacles that you overcame and you changed that into successes and opportunities, and made it a win-win-win?
Well, to talk about this elite woman and how she overcame her obstacles, I think now I have come to a point where I can say that yes, this elite woman empowers others. But there was certainly a time where I needed to really feel empowered within. So of course, with all that life has to throw, I think for me the very challenging turning point for me was losing my dad at a very early age. Rather, seeing him at a stage where, like I told you, he was a rubber technologist and traveled across the world. So suddenly seeing him in a crippling stage where he had a paralytic stroke, and life changed for me as a teenager. And seeing that, life can be really, really, unfair with you at times, taking away everything from you. And you just learn to shaft your way through those storms and struggles without even knowing where, how you're going to cope up with the person you really thought that would be there with you, guiding you, mentoring you. So I was suddenly in this, conflict where I couldn't look up to anyone beyond my dad, as that fatherly figure. So that really changed, I think, was the changing point for me, where I started taking decisions for myself, being the younger one, the pampered one in the family. I never thought I could really make it without him, but I'm sure he would be proud enough to see where I have reached, and the kind of work that I do, of course, being a self dependent woman. And so yeah, life has been of course, there were a lot of obstacles and challenges, I would say, but at the end of the day, it is how you overcome them. So that's where my empowerment journey really started. You know, coming out of the corporate rut was something I was trying on and off, and it took quite a bit of courage for me to put my foot down and say to my family, now, okay, so I have done enough to take care of, the family responsibilities, the societal expectations. So now it's my turn to make my dreams. So this little girl's dreams, which always had to, she dreamed of being her own boss, try and change the world in her own way, of course, without, with due respect to the status quo and the ecosystem. So that's where these small shift and changes, which as a teenager, or, you make those choices every day. And when we now look back, it seems to be that, okay, it was, quite a journey. But at that point in time, making those choices and putting your foot down was quite a bit of struggle. Like, being single in 30s, you can imagine, Shamila, how it is in India. All your relatives and your family would be behind you to get you married off. Oh, this is the perfect age. And now you're beyond that age. So I think somewhere I could convince that to myself first, that no, I have something, to do for myself and for the people around me. And that's what really felt empowering for me. And that is how I think for elite women it is all about empowering the lives around, because that has been her journey.
When I think of, you just mentioned about being single in your 30s, and the first thing I think about when I think about India is shadi.com.
Yeah, you got me there, shadi.com.
You have quite an interesting life, Shhreyaa. Well done on all your achievements. And you also received a number of accolades. Is there anything that stands out for you?
Sorry. You have to repeat that because there was just a glitch and I could, just hear a bit of what you said.
With all your recognition and awards and accolades, is there anything that stands out for you?
Well, the fact that, I really feel blessed being a woman. I don't know, a lot of women, when I hear around, a lot of my friends, they say that, oh, it's it's a whole lot of responsibility, being a woman, taking care of so many things. But I truly feel blessed. And that is what I think Elite Woman stands for. It could be any ordinary woman, but I'm sure, every one of us has that hidden talent which one needs to be discovering all the time. And of course it's not about just discovering, but nurturing that woman within, who is wanting to tell her story to the world, which is surely, which she keeps doubting every now and then. So for me, it is more than the accolades and achievements and the designations. It is more about what impact you are creating, just being yourself.
So
And that's how simply I put my life. There's
yes,
nothing extraordinary, but yes, if my story is something which stands out and makes an impact, I'm more than happy.
absolutely. If you had to give a startup entrepreneur one piece of advice, what would that be?
I think one piece of advice I would say is just be yourself. I think that's simply said, but it takes a lot of courage. So for me, I think the four mantras, if I could give here instead of one thing, would be, of course, you need to dream big, no matter how impossible it looks. So for the young ones who are about to start up on this journey, I would just tell them that, just go out, be yourself, keep challenging yourself, keep transforming yourself. There's nothing called as perfection. So please be your own best version. And I think it is all about risking your imperfections. For me, in a lot many ways, I'm still trying to be better version of what I am. So I think each one of us keeps to do better things and excels in those things. So it's an everyday thing, and I think I am still a work in progress. I do not see myself as something accomplished. I see myself as daily working on my imperfections and trying to just make it excellent. While chasing perfection, you definitely get onto the path of excellence, and that's where my concept of best version is being a better version of myself rather than putting myself and comparing with somebody else. So I think this is what I would like to, give as an advice to all the startup, rather than, getting into technical jargons or, doing this or goal setting. I truly believe in, being myself and working on my imperfections. That's all.
I love that, be yourself, because one of my quotes, I think it's on my Facebook, on the header, where it says, be yourself, everyone else is taken.
Absolutely.
And that is so
You
real.
know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, absolutely. That is so real. And you mentioned dream big. I always say dream big. And if you have dreamed that big, then you dream bigger. Just continue moving the goalposts and be a better version of yourself. Yes, we have to work on ourselves on a daily basis. We can't say that we know everything, because we don't know everything. We learn from everyone else, and work on your imperfections. What great advice from you, Shhreyaa. Thank you so much for that. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
Thank you so much. Now that we are just coming towards the fag end, I would like to, take this opportunity again that through the Red Corner Show, you are doing a fabulous work of inspiring lives and empowering as well through this inspiring stories and the guests that you have lined up. And of course, an amazing lady like you, right from South Africa to now Cambodia. And I'm sure, very soon we'll see you in India as well sometime soon. So, I think we need more Shamilas to inspire more lives around. So I would, in fact, want to know from you what it takes to be, yourself. I mean, especially we have been taking this conversation of, being the best version and being ourselves. What would be Shamila's advice? That is something which I would definitely, before we come to the end, I would like to know from you.
Awesome. Thank you. We're just going to turn the tables around here. Shhreyaa, it's great asking me that question. You know, a lot of people ask me, how do you do it? There's a lot of risk that you take in terms of your health, because I think, sometimes I make all the sacrifices and I try to keep to my promises, and I want to make everybody happy. And, you come to realize in your life that you can't make everybody happy. You also have to put yourself first at some point, and I still have to learn how to do that, because I always put people before me. I want to give them the opportunities to become better and work on themselves. Yes, it's always a work in progress, and I just so appreciate everyone coming to share their stories on Red Corner Show. That if I don't have a chat for a long time, I actually miss it, because I miss talking to people, and just I miss not listening to their journeys, because everyone has a story to tell. It is, and we need to give people that opportunity. But just back on myself, I think always set goals, work on priorities, try to be your authentic self always. Don't try to be somebody else, because everybody has that hidden gem in them. Find your passion and your purpose, and to work through that. Focus on your strengths and focus on positivity. Ward off all the negativity around you, because you don't need that. And make good choices in life. I think, we all learn from experiences. Don't regret your experiences, because that's where you learn to be a better person. So that's me.
And I just love that the way you expressed it. I think every day is about making those choices, and choices are really empowering. I think that was really wonderful. So thank you so much for having me on your show, Shamila.
Thank you so much, Shhreyaa. If anybody would like to get a hold of you, how would they contact you?
I am very much available on social media platforms. So Facebook is the best way to connect with me, because that's the fastest way the world is connected. And of course, Elite has a page. Elite Women has a page and presence on LinkedIn by the name Shhreyaa Shetti. And on Facebook and Instagram, I am also available. So they can connect with me on any of these platforms. They can DM me and connect to have a further talk.
Awesome. Shhreyaa Shetti from Pune in India, thank you so much for joining me on the show. I wish you the best of luck, and keep on doing what you're doing, because you're doing amazing work, incredible work in changing the lives of people and just making that impact. We need more Shhreyas. So thank you so much. And To the audience, if you would like to be on the show, please send me an email, redcornershow@gmail.com. And you also could be on the show sharing your journey with us. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.